So here's my plan for getting lives left to 0, and then my game is over. I'm just going to do something really simple. My token is going to stop moving. It's going to go back to the middle of the screen, and I'm going to bring in game over text. But I also need to add a new function, because now I don't want to just tell it what to do with lives left by subtracting 1. I want to tell it what to do when my game is over. So bring in a new function, call it game over, no spaces. Bring in a control. You're right. We're going to do an if. If you didn't predict that yet, you need to start thinking ahead a little bit, because we're repeating a lot of things that we're doing. So game over. Going to go get some math here. And if my token touches the bottom and it actually goes, for some reason, it goofs up and it goes into a negative number, I want to choose this less than or equal to operator. I'm going to drop that in the middle, and I'm going to say if lives left is less than or equal to 0, then I want you to do something. Okay? First step, we're going to take my sprite and I'm going to turn it, actually I'm going to look for the x and y, for the velocity x and y right there. I'm going to tell it Pong, velocity is 0, 0. So I don't want it to move anymore. Next thing I want to do is tell where my Pong should be. I don't want it touching the edge and then causing a bunch of sound to happen at the same moment. So I'm simply going to change where it's at. I'm going to move, not my velocity, I'm just going to move it to not 0.2. Where was that? Okay, so I was looking for a sprite that would do both, but we're just going to drop these two in, and I'm going to tell when the game is over, it gets less than or equal to 0, I want to change my x and y for my sprite to a 200. So my sprite is Pong, setting my x at 200. My sprite here is Pong, and my y is 200. So now it's going to show up right in the middle when it gets back to 0. Don't forget to bring your game over function into the program, because now it's going to be running game over. My velocity will be 0. My Pong will move back to the middle. Let's run it and see what we've got. There's 4, and I don't even want to get a score. 3. Let's try to do that a little bit faster there for the token. It hit the bottom a couple times and dropped us back to 0, and my Pong is now not moving, and there is right there in the middle. I can still move my platform back and forth, but nothing's going to happen. Okay, let's also do a game over part into this, and this is what I mean. I went out to flaming text. I went ahead and made a game over with a transparent background, and now I'm going to bring that into my program. So come up to the top. Actually, we're not going to bring it in at the top, because this is where you bring everything in that you want to have all your attributes showing at the beginning of your game. I don't want game over at the beginning. I only want it showing when I get to less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to bring my my sprite in right here in the game over function. So I'm going to bring in my sprite and my set animation. I'm going to call it game over. Well, wait a minute. We've already named something else game over, so I'm going to name it game over pick. And then I'm going to name it game over pick again. Let's go and do animation. I need a new sprite upload. This is where I saved my game over. Open. Here it is. Jump back to code. If it doesn't show up, don't freak out about it. Just go scroll up and down for a minute and it should drop everything back into place. I'm going to call it game over. Now let's run and see what happens. 4. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get it to 3. Come on, move quicker. 2. 1. Is it going to happen? All right, there's game over right there. But I don't like how it is all the way across. I'd like to make it a little bit smaller. So let's go in and adjust it a little bit. I'm going to tell it sprite width. And again, that's going to go over my function right underneath here, my game over pick width, or you could do scale. I'm going to do this at 380 because it's almost like 400 pixels across. Let's take a look again. Run the program. Here we go. 4. Oh, come on. 3. There we go. 0. Okay. That looks a lot better. So what we've done is we brought in a game over function, and we'll even keep adding things to that because we could add a sound in there. We could add another function to where it zooms in, because this is what I'd like my game over to look like. I'm going to reset that and run that, and so it's going to bring in game over, and we'll zoom it in. We'll make it look cool. But that's good enough for now. Keep going. We're going to keep making this game look better and better. Keep on coding, guys. Good job.